Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Doc from North America. We're starting 3 hours early today, then we go back to normal tomorrow, back to 3 hours later. But we try to do this once in a while. We try to get, just a little bit earlier once in a while, just to make it easier for some. Don't know, the ones that obviously listen to the regular broadcast obviously have no problem, you would think. And so 3 hours early to them is probably even more beneficial on some level or another. So here we go. Looking at the dollar again. Just another, the fourth day now. The dollar index down. Dollar has been being pushed down, which is pretty cool. We'd like to see that thing get down a little bit lower. What else can we say about that? It's been so strong for so long, and it just has made it so hard for I guess foreign investors to buy American things, and it makes it just a very powerful or very expensive, not powerful but expensive situation. Probably is part of the problem with China. You can see they're having massive problems over there with the property. Now there's a major story out about unemployment. They have enormous unemployment. I didn't know a communist country could have unemployment, but they do. And I guess what it really comes down to is they try to have the statistics. I don't know how a country that it is a really confusing thing. Didn't they used to claim like the Soviet Union had like 98% employment or something like that? In other words, everybody had a job or 100% employment. So I'm a little confused when China says they have unemployment or they have GDP or gross domestic product or they have inflation. It makes it a little confusing. I guess they have some form of capitalism going on, so they have a statistic. At the same time, their currency is fixed like the old ruble used to be. 4 or 5 ruble to the. I guess it was like 4 ruble to the dollar all the time, and you can see that their currency is like it's like 6.5 won to the dollar all the time. And so I don't know. It just always confuses me how that all works out in the end. But it does to them, and they have a number to play with, and I guess that's what it comes down to. What else can we say? So let me think. So that's where we stand at the moment. In other words, we're watching the dollar act very strong, making it very hard overall. But at least the last 3 days, they've started to push it down. Hey, Jordan, how you doing? Good morning to you. Is this any better? A little earlier? Does it make it easier? Am I fooling myself? If it doesn't seem to make it easier for some people, we'll stop it. But I try to do this like once a week. Or once every other week, I try to do something early to give people a little bit more opportunity. Yeah, you can see the dollar there, and when we look at the pairs trades, it's the same way. You see it over in J4X. You see that all that red pressing down. It's not it's not really stopping at this point. It just keeps on pressing along, really. So let me think. So from there, let's go take a look at the currency itself, and we'll check that out and see what the magic is all about. Let's check out the euro. Put it up on J4X first. Right there. There's a euro. And then let's put it up over here. Let's see. No, that's not it. Euro. Right there. And there's the euro. And as you can see, lifting up again. It's its fourth day in a daily buy. It's still not through, but the echo has really leaped, reflecting that strength. And but the overall trend it's trying to tell us, I guess, basically is that this won't last. It'll probably stall out in this area here somewhere. It'll probably at 103s, could go as high as 104. Maybe they're going to be totally jazzed for a little while, and they go and do that. But I mean, what it comes down to at this point is the the euro is lifting very well at the moment, and I guess coming off of the night, was it the 98s, the 99s? What's that low there? That low was 98.78. I guess that could be the all-time low now. I guess. Just scroll over a little bit. Yep, I don't think it's ever been lower. What is that? That is 103 now. So we broke the par. Now off and on for a couple weeks. You can see the first time it broke par was back in here in July, and it's done it again here in September, and now we are in August. It did it, and then now we're in September, and it's done it again, and it seems like it's putting a bottom up. But let's see if it stalls out and makes a lower low. It does one of these here and then starts to come down again. That would be kind of freaky, I guess you could say. We really would love to see it not fall apart like that. So, just like to see it. We'd like to see the dollar just show some life on the downside. No, it's go lower. This mad rampage of the dollar strong all the time is just not good enough, All right, from there we go over to cable. Let's see right there. And there's cable. Cable's even trying to lift up. Boy, the line has been driving up. Now we got two green hinkies. There it is right there. Second day also, just like that. We went into a buy, went into a sell, back into the buy. But again, it's tangled with its weekly. You can see that pressure is on it. Even the echo, which is run, still is not into the plus. So we really have to wonder, this is just a dead cat bounce for all of them at this point. And, I guess the Goldman Sachs put out a story, I guess it was over the weekend. It said, could China, I know this is bringing China up again, but could China dig us out of this hole? In other words, they're supposed to be much more powerful than what I think they are. And, even Goldman Sachs said, nah, China can't do it. And we take a sip of our tea. And the end result is that it doesn't, I guess the markets seem to be on hold. The world seems to be on hold. It doesn't want to let go in the sense of, it keeps on showing strength. Matter of fact, I guess we could show this. I think the stock indices this morning are strong. You can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 149. I think when we started the webinar, it was up what was it? It was up almost 200. You can see the high today is 32,337, and we're trading at 32 right now live, 32.13. So it was about up around 200 points. You can see the stocks themselves, as I mentioned, they're still rolling on the upside. They just don't seem to want to let go. Tech 100 up 83 and S&P 500 up 24. And obviously the big confirmer of them all, let's see what we got there. That's the, why do we have two 12s there? Oh, it's intraday, I'm sorry. And look at Bitcoin up $890. And it was up as high as over $1,000 at one point. And we do know that when Bitcoin or the cryptos start to run and the stocks start to run, together, on the upside or downside, that is the general trend. So, cryptos are telling us that they're interested. They want to be owned, and the stocks want to be owned. Matter of fact, didn't we? Let me just go over and take a look. But I thought, didn't we? There's crude. And let's see. I thought crude had closed in a buy last week, daily buy. Let me just double check crude oil. Just now that we were there, I just want to take a look at it. October. Yeah, that the low is wrong on that. So it went into a buy. We need to fix that. Let me just fix that. Well, I can do that without you seeing it. Let's go over to Bitcoin right there. There we are. And you can see Bitcoin closed in a daily buy on Friday. And, you know, it's come off of, like, it was down in the 18s. And here we are at 22 now. So when this thing starts to take off, you have to, you know, start thinking, hey, now look at weekly. Weekly just refuses to get going, just like the stock indices. And that's been in a longer sell than the stock indices also. So we're going to see how they chip away at it. But that buy it went into on Friday is really screaming at us at this point. And that's the way I look at it when we look at the stock indices. So looking at cable, going back to the currency. See, where's the currency? Right there, yeah. So looking at the currency, you can see, you know, they're trying to turn too. They're trying to sell the dollar. We're not getting a lot of. Let me just open something up. The fix. Oh no, there's the quote manager. There we go. You know, we're trying to get the you know, the dollar to calm down, and it's doing it at the moment, which gives opportunity for people to come in and buy stocks and buy bonds. You know, in other words, it's a bargain price. You know, and that's one of the things. You know, we unfortunately, you know, we've always made the joke here, you know, since QE that, you know, Europe likes to, United States likes to buy high, buy low, sell high, or sell high and buy it back cheaper. But Europe likes to buy low and sell low, and that's been very tough. You know, the European Union's situation has really hurt. You know, the whole situation, I guess you could say, they've made it very, very tough for you know, for the investors in Europe to make any money whatsoever. You know, especially the bond traders. That was brutal. I mean, really brutal. The bond traders. Let me check the. Let's check crude oil now. That's better there. Let me just check it here. Ah, one lower. Two, that's what it is. Okay. To fix it right, the low is wrong again by 1 full point. Edit. Load. And make that at 230. There we are. There we go. That'll fix it. Just wanted to fix that crude oil. There we go. That's better now. All right, on to the next currency instead. Oh, I just want to save that too. Let's save that. There we are. All right, on to, you know what? There's less questions. I guess it's Monday anyway, but there's less players. I think we'll just we'll have to come up with something. I'm trying to find a way to let more people get in and to ask questions, but this obviously is not helping that much. But that's all right. We'll keep on trying something. It doesn't hurt to try something new once in a while. Let's see. Oh, did I say that? Let me just double check. There we are. There we are. So from the cable, we slide over to the Swiss. See what the Swiss is looking like this morning. I'd imagine it's coming down like everybody else. Where are you, Swiss? There you are. Yeah, and that is the fourth day marching down. But the weekly, again, just like euro, just like cable, just like the dollar index, the weekly is not joining in very well. It might be, just might be one of those things where you know, they do a double, where they, go down and they go up one more time, give everybody a chance to really sell, and then they really slide down. Maybe that's it. Maybe money will come in. The interpretation, I guess you could say, we keep on talking about how in the United States the government's going to change dramatically. So I saw Sweden. Looks like their government's going to change dramatically now. And we're seeing that all around the planet. A lot of changes going on. Let's see if we can find that story. Let's see what if there's new news. Once they give us a headline, sometimes in the States we don't see anything after that. It's very weird. It's like our news agencies don't have much interest, especially if it's something negative like that towards what what they call their narrative is. Let's see. Ukraine's second largest city. Darkness. Okay, here it is. Let's see. There it is, right there. Not Swiss. No, that's the crazy stuff about. It's about the energy. You can report your neighbor if they're using too much energy or something like that. Huh. Where's it at? I'm looking for Sweden. I understand Sweden had elections yesterday, and the headline was screaming about the more capitalist conservatives are getting in government, saying we want to make Sweden. And also in Canada too, something happened. Let me show you the Canadian one. Populism on the rise, as in Canada. In Canada, as unelectable Pierre Poilievre sweeps conservative leadership. That's the. Let's see. At the ballot, Canadian Conservative Leadership Convention, and swept the top job. It's happening everywhere. Let me see if I can find the Swedish one now. I think at first the Swedish one was first. They had it as a headline for a while. Let's see. There's that Chinese thing, the drones or something. No, that's not the unemployment one. There's a Canadian. There it is. There, Sweden's conservative right opposition bloc takes lead to general election. It's going on everywhere. Everybody wants to change these governments that are trying to make everything expensive, and they're deep concerned to save the solar system. So, it seems like Earth has the power to put Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn, and Uranus into ice ages in the last few years, and I just didn't think Earth had that type of power. We're so small. When you look at physics, it doesn't seem to justify it. But they think we're doing it. From somehow or another, they think our fossil fuels are putting the whole solar system into, like, we have the ability to rip a third of the atmosphere off of Pluto over the last 4 years. It's just so hard to believe that we have that power on Earth, that we can control the solar system. We are so powerful that we can create earthquakes on Mars now on a daily basis. I just don't believe it. But there's a lot of people out there that want us to have windmills and so forth that think that we do. And That's why those governments are changing dramatically, I guess. And that's what I think is going to happen here in the States. We're going to see the same thing, a very dramatic change. All right, from the Swiss, we will slide over to, we go to the Turkish Lira. Let's take a look at the dollar Turkish Lira first. Always like looking at that first. Where are you, dollar Turkish Lira? There it is right there. Our lines are missing. Remember, we had a corrupted file that on Thursday of last week that wiped out this page. So we've had to make a whole new page. So there's some currency pairs missing, the whole bit, which is not the worst thing in the world. We can clean them up. When someone wants to see something, we can make a new one if we don't have it now. So, and let's put that up over on J4X. Or what we'll do is we usually do that. We'll go like right there. We'll find a dollar Swiss. And you can see it's getting its pressure there. We've been in the daily sell now for, what's this, the 6th day. And it's vacillated a little bit here, but you can see the lines have been under, giving you warning. And we've had 2 out of the 5 days in red. Now let's take a look at Turkish Lira. Euro Turkish Lira pairs, which is starting to lift up. And as you can see, it's at, oh, what did I do? I gave you, that's South African Rand. I'm sorry about that. Right there, there we are. That's better. So out of the 6 days, we've had 1. Again, the line was protecting you in that sense. In other words, you couldn't be long through that because the line was below the 0 line. And that's on J4X. And then over here, our work was telling you to be long. So, no, I'm sorry. It was the reverse too. Here, let's see. Let's go back to that. Right there. So we were in a weekly buy, but it was in a sell, so you couldn't be short throughout this whole thing. And it was rising, and even with it trying to rise up, it's holding on pretty well. And then when we go over and look at the Turkish Lira right here, Euro Turkish Lira, let's put that on there on J4X. It's a lot more smoother. You know, the dollar Turkish Lira is so much like a strong index. Right there. There we go. So you can see, in this case here, we've been in a buy for 4 days. This has been in a buy. It's so much smoother to trade the Euro Turkish Lira. And it's been in a buy there. So that's been nice. Both indicators on the J4X and on Chicago Quant kept you safe. Just safe differently, that's all. And you can see right here, you know, in a daily buy now for, what's that, 3 and 6, and this is the 9th week now in a buy. And 4 days in a buy. It's been a nice winner chicken dinner there. So, what else we got brewing here? I guess we go from there over to the Canadian, see what the Canadian is doing. And there is the Canadian. And you can see it, you know, it's gaining value. I wonder if the elections are helping it any. I mean, we see oil today up, but this has been in a slide going on the last couple of days. Still in the weekly buy again. We're still dealing with that whole thing everywhere. The weeklies refuse to join in, so I don't think this is exactly the best trade at the moment. Just if you are long the U.S. dollar CAD trade, just know that it's in a daily sell, so it's going to have downwardly pressure, and it just, you know, until that shifts, you know, if you're a manufacturer or importer or something like that, just know that that's the action we're seeing there. On the short term, it is gaining strength against the dollar. And then what we do is, let's put it up over here. We put it up against the oil index, the oil contract itself. There it is right there. And we are starting to lift. You can see, it's starting to show strength. Oil is trying to rally. And then we fixed it. We went into that buy on Friday. You see it's green on Friday there too on J4X. And as you can see right there, it has gone into the buy right there. You see that strength there. And you can see the weekly refuses to go into the sell, which is interesting in its own right, where it keeps on doing the same exact thing. We keep on seeing this pressure, and it doesn't want to let go. It just does not want to let go. All right, from there, we slide over to the South African Rand. Oh, what we do is we reverse it. So let's just reverse it. So there is, let's just do this first. This is the Canadian, show you the Canadian in J4X. That's it, right there. Showing that downwardly draft for the last few days. And there we are on the crude oil, rising up. Same situation. Ta-da! And that's the best way to describe it all, I guess you could say. Ta-da! All right, from there we go over to the South African Rand. Let's get that up on the screen. Or what we could do is we could go gold on this. We'll put gold on this. No, let's close that. We'll put gold on this right there. There's gold. And you can see gold is in a daily buy for 3 days. But we're in a weekly sell. Same situation. Again, all these products are doing it. And then let's put South African Rand up on J4X, and then we'll reverse that out. And as you can see there, today it is pressing down. You can see it right there. So we widen out a little bit. So, it's starting to roll over the currency. When gold is moving up, it naturally goes down, and vice versa. Just the same way that the Canadian goes up and down, doing the same exact thing. And then we shift this. We'll go over to the South African Rand on here. Right there. And you can see the same situation. Matter of fact, I guess we could put that up. What is that? South African Rand is generating a red right there. So we'll just put it there for the time being. Looks like it's going to try to go down, but it's done the same thing. It kept on lifting, even with that strength in the with the weakness, I guess you could say. No, in the strength of the gold. I mean, gold was rising. Let's put gold on there now for you. Right there. So it's taken some real pressure to. I mean, we've seen them make new lows. Made a new low here that day. Made a new low on Friday, and obviously today finally it's joining in. But they closed them out higher at the end of the day. Maybe they didn't believe. They don't believe it yet. Just like and look at the weekly, because of the weekly quant. It kind of makes you. Oh, let's see. There it is, right there. Because of the weekly quant, remove that. It is doing that battle. It just kind of has a hard time letting go. Now that would be very interesting when this all plays itself out. Because we do believe that the metals are going to get firmer when the change of government comes. We really do. We really think that is the real next direction. So I think we have a few more weeks. We talked about it in July. We've talked about it in August. We even talked about it in June. We really think that September, October, we're going to see a bottom in the metals market. So maybe, I just think it's got to do with interest rates. Once they see a change in government, that's going to influence the buyers and sellers. I think that's what's really going to be the pressure on it. So you can see here the ZAR is just joining in. We'll see if the currency vacillates in this area for a couple more weeks, and we start to get into a weekly sell. Then I think we're going to see the good moves. All right. Now from there we go over to, let's see, right there we go into the yen. There's the yen. You say slammed it down on Friday. It's lifting a little bit today, but again the weekly is so strong that it's very mild. This thing has been on one long solid run. I mean, we went into the weekly buy here just recently again, and and you can see it here. Been in daily buys. That was just one day in a sell, and then back into it again. We basically over the, what's that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 days. Let's see. So 18, 20. So over the last 20 days, we've been in a sell just 3. So just once there. And then on Friday, we went to a sell, and you can see it's trying to lift up again here. Let's put it up on J4X. Right there. And so that's the yen's doing that same action. Usually by now, who is it? 47 jumps in and says, "Hey, what's the Nikkei look like?" I understand. I think Asia was relatively closed today. Japan might be open, but I noticed South Korea and China are closed for something. Probably some type of full moon thing or something like that. Let's see. From there, you see the yen. Let's go to, we'll finish it off at the end here, the Mexican peso. Same situation. And we don't have, what we noticed is that all our trading bands that we had are gone. So we'll have to reset them up. I will reset them up. Maybe this afternoon or something like that. I have pictures of them. I saved a lot of the bands, so I can basically put that in. So that's not too bad at all. Let's see, what is that? Oh, okay. So we'll take care of that. You take care of that today. That's cool. Alrighty. Now from there, let's see. Let's go over to, where do we go over to? So you can see Mexican peso. I'll just put it up on J4X. See what they're doing with that. Right there. There we are. And so that's pretty much, it's at the bottom of its range. Because that is the bottom of its range. I think it's when we go like this, I guess we could scrunch this up. And it slipped through it. We used to have all those little blocks and so forth. I think that's the bottom of the range right there. And there is the top of the range. So you can see we're playing around with that. That's why we have different colors, because we use a lot of Fibonacci on these things. We'll go like that. Go with file and save. I guess we're going to start doing that. And we'll start explaining the range again. And we'll fix all these. Save workspace. Save workspace as. There we go. There we go. So that is pretty much, unless someone wants to see another currency out there, we will drift over to the metals complex and see what's going on there. And we've seen gold. Let's see, it's right there. There's gold. You can see the gold has been strong. But again, we have that problem with the weekly. It just refuses to join in. And it's the same way with the silver. Let's put it up on J4X there. We'll go right to silver on that. Right there. And you can see silver is trying to lift up, and it's in a daily buy. Where is it at? Right there. There we go. It's been in a buy now for the 4 days. But again, the weekly, this is going on a fourth week. 1, 2, 3, 4, going on a fifth week. So they won't let go of that either at the same time. It just keeps on pressing. And it got into the buy a couple weeks ago. We thought, oh, right, we're on a ride, and then it goes into the sell. And it's like, okay, it's all over with. But notice this time, we felt that they took it down. We talked about this. Matter of fact, we labeled one of the webinars where they had to take it down so they can take it up. Because I think they know too. Just remember, the central bank likes to keep this pressure on that product. I mean, that is the object. I mean, that really is the object, is to keep pressure on the metals complex, because if they allowed it to go flying up, it could be a real disaster in many ways for them. And that's what the problem is that they don't want metals to go up in value, because that would confirm chaos. I know it sounds so simple, and it sounds like, wow, how could that be so easy for them to do that? Well, they put a lot of pressure on the paper market. So when you go for the physical market, we've seen all the evidence on that. It's almost impossible to get physical for the same price that you see it quoted for in the paper market. Robin, active trader in the silver coins, he's always going like, well, can't buy those coins for, like right now I think there's some crazy number, like it's like $9 over, when you go to buy them, or $6 over, so right now there's like a silver coin is, you can buy a couple of them, but it's really hard to buy a bag full at $19.13. And that is the gist of it all. And it doesn't stop there. Same thing with the gold. You can see when they tried to repatriate gold to Germany and other places, when people say we want our gold back from the U.S. depository, it takes literally months and years to do it. And you're only talking, 15 or 20 tons. And you're like, well, that's really odd. Why can't they just, send a battleship over and, and stick it on the battleship? It can handle 20 tons. Put it where the ammunition is or something. And they can't it doesn't work that way. They have to accumulate it. They have to slowly buy it up, throughout the, exercise the contracts, take delivery. That's why, the amount of ounces at the vault of the exchange now are in the thousands under. So in other words, for every 1,000 contracts, or every 1,500 contracts, I think now it's up to 1,500. Every 1,500 contracts that are traded, there's only enough gold for one contract. That's it. It used to be almost 1-to-1. For decades, it was almost kept at like 1-to-1, 1.2 or 0.98. It was like really close. But now the physical delivery is off the rails. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Off the rails. It doesn't even exist anymore. So, when you see that, you go like, wow, why? We all see inflation 8.5%. How could the all-time high in gold, which I think should be 5,000 or 6,000, it's just a simple opinion, no math to back it up more than just experience, is 2,200. And where do we see gold trading? Let's just go back to it again. It's so obvious. Let's do it on J4X, because you'll see the big quote itself. $1,724. So it's $500 off its all-time high. Now, how can gold be $500 off its all-time high? 25%, if not more, when you really think about it. Or no, it's a little less. It's like about 3.9 or 4.2, something like that. 4.2, 4.3. How can gold be 4.3%? No, what am I saying? 24% off its all-time high when we're looking at 40-year highs in inflation. I mean, obviously, that's what I mean when I say I can't really show you any mathematics besides our own charts, but the fundamentals are telling us that something's wrong there. If we've been a year now over the 8% area of the average 12-month inflation rate is like 8.5. Okay, so how cannot gold? Gold did not take out the 2200 back then, did it? Let's see. Let's go find gold. We got gold up on J4X. Let's make it the whole screen. And so there is 22. Okay, yeah. So they almost got back to the all-time high. Oop, there it is. The all-time high is in 2020, and it missed it. It didn't make it in 2021, as inflation was exploding. Instead, as inflation exploded, what did they do? They sold this down. Look at that. They sold this thing down. Now, how many times has everybody here known that, when inflation goes up, gold goes up. Not inflation goes up, gold goes down. I mean, it's pretty obvious in our face. But, it is what it is, and there's no, changing that. That is the nature of it all, and we just have to shake our heads at it and just go, well, I don't understand. I don't understand. So, and then there's the gold there, trading at $1,735, not $2,250. You would think with 40-year high inflation, gold would be, I don't know, $50 off its all-time high, $100 off its all-time high, $200 off its all-time high, not $500 off its all-time high. And it's been that way, as you can see on the J4X chart. You can see that right there. It's been sold down from the 21, in this case here, just, let's see, let's do that again. There it is right there. Since, we picked it up in 21, I mean, they obviously did try to rally it. You can see that they tried to rally it with the inflation at the beginning, and it just failed. They've already declared that the inflation's over with. That's what they've done. They've declared that the inflation is over with, but it's not. We're at 8.5, and and they and in some ways you can say yes, they're right. The chances are that inflation will start to come down. It came down from 9 something a few months ago. And I think we get the inflation. Do we get the inflation this week? I think we get the CPI this week. They're talking about that right now as we speak on the financial channel. Markets juggle hawkish Fed view, hopes for easing inflation. And there's, matter of fact, there's a headline in what is it? What do they call it? Zero Hedge, where they said that the markets are looking beyond the inflation numbers now. Yeah, they're saying that no one, the markets they don't care. They're not going to pay attention to it. I think they're looking at the election again, and they're saying that with a change of government. Now, the 2-year Treasury is trading at almost 3.57 now. And, like the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 11% for the year, and the Tech 100 is down almost 23%, and the S&P 500 is down about 15% for the year. And so, a lot of it is because of a slowing economy more than anything else. But they're not paranoid about it. They're not concerned. They're looking at it and they're saying, don't worry about it. Now, over in the energies, we could do the energies here. I guess you could say, let's see. So, well, no. I guess let's look at copper. There was an interesting article about copper. I guess we got to get out of that September contract. I wonder what let's see what the front month Let me just double check something, see which one has the greatest volume in it now. Copper, we may just change the contract right here in front of you. Copper, yeah, we got to go to December copper now. December copper is where it's at. So let's do this. Save that. Copy. Okay. Now let's put December copper in there. Oh, you know what? Let's cancel that. Close. Oh, cancel. I want to save this just in case someone says I need to look at that contract. I always do that. File, copy, file, paste. There we are. Now we're good. All right, now let's fix this one. And we'll remove that. And then we will put December in there. Deck copper. HG, high grade. Yeah, they're saying that Europe is losing, I guess because of the energy problem, they're saying that Europe is losing its position in producing energy. Let's see. There we are. There we go. All right, and there's deck, and let's put the symbol, you know, let's see, like that. Paste. Oh, we have to write it out. Okay. Too many. Copper deck. There we are. And you can see the buy went into the buy right there. We'll have to just double check that real quick. Let's just see what that looks like there. So that's right. That's wrong. That one's wrong. And this one's really wrong, the 6th. So we're going to have to fix that. I guess it's the 6th that needs to be fixed more than anything else. Let me just fix the 6th, and then we'll be able to see it very clearly. And it'll keep that weekly just the way it. Matter of fact, look at that. It never went into. Looks like it never went into the cell. So that cell never happened. There we are. And the buy is a little bit earlier, like that, in the December contract. And that's how that is. So it's been in a buy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The SPAC month has been so much more powerful. Let me just fix the December contract. Let's see, where am I going here? Go like that. Let's see. Nope, not it. Minimize that. File new. There we go. Let's put the new low in there. And what's that? NYMEX. And there it is right there. So that was the 6th. And the low was, what was the low? Low was like 339. So let's fix that. 3. Okay. Three. 8. How's that? There we go. Let's see how that goes. See what straightens that out. Let's see. Settings. There we go. See if it straightened it out. There we go. That's better now. There we are. So it's been in the buy for 5 days on the December contract. Let's move this one over. That caught the top. That was interesting. Let's see, we can move some of these around now, can't we? That buy was there. And that sell was not there. It was right there. And then I guess we went into a buy again. Yeah, we went to a buy again. And that's a sell. So we move that to there. And move that to there. Like that. And then we went back into the buy here. It gave us a down move and then just kept on. Let's see, it went into the sell there again. Okay. We'll have to double check further back to see if it means anything. And go with that. I guess that was the buy. Right there, especially being in a weekly buy. Then there's your sell right there. So there's the copper. Interesting. Nice and stretched out in many ways, which is nice. Right there, there was the first buy. And we were working our way into getting into regular buy and so forth. Let's save this. Save workspace. And then we'll make a copy of it. Save workspace as. Copy. There we go. All right. That does that. Now, let's, so where are we at? We just did copper. And we're in the December contract now, not September anymore. And at the same time, I guess we'll look at platinum this morning. And we really believe that this time when platinum goes into the weekly buy, that's the October contract right there. When it does that, wait a minute, that's crude oil. Let's go further down. October platinum, right there. There we are. So there it is. Platinum is still in that weekly sell. And we figure that when it gets in, now you can see it's trying to get into the buy the last 2 days. Matter of fact, it's not even reflect. I don't think they're trading it yet at this time of day. Let me just double check. Oh, it is. Okay, it's trading. There it is right there. So it's 3 days in a buy, just like the rest of the metals complex, but the weekly is also on the down. Now, when this one turns up, I think we're going to get a nice run like we had that one. And the one before that, we had a nice buy. We get into that weekly buy, and it does take off, you know. And I think it did it one more time before that. I guess back in here, we went into a weekly buy. We have to fill in this old data when we switched it. And you can see it ran, but the lines are still there for it. That's why we put the lines in for ourselves even at times. All right, that completes the metals complex. Let's slide over to the energies. And we've seen crude oil. You can see what's going on there. Boink. You know, there's a little strength kicking in again. And let's see what Brent looks like over there. There's Brent. And you can see Brent is trying to lift up the last few days. You can see the line coming up through that. Brent is, you know, way off the 100 mark. And then we go and we check out the natural gas, right? Where's natural gas? Right there. The October contract. You can see it's flirting with a daily buy today. And we've been in that weekly buy for a while now. Let's put that up there like that. There we go. Save that like so. There we are, October natural gas. Boom. So the energy complex is still, you know, I have a hard time believing that it can even find a way to go down. The only reason it's going down right now is a slowing economy. But sooner or later, they're going to start anticipating that. And when they start anticipating that, then you'll also, you know, we'll also be seeing action on the upside there. And that's usually the way it works. You see that pressure usually evolves that way. And so, you know, we've looked at crude oil, we've looked at natural gas, and what else we've looked at? You can see Brent there. Like I said, it's just trading underneath the, just underneath the, you know, the century mark now for, I don't know, a bunch of days. And I guess, with slowing this and slowing that, no inventory combined together, in some ways, you would think, wow, they're slowing the economies down because there's no inventory and people can go on unemployment or something like that. I mean, that's usually the way it works. They always come up with logic like that. It's government, bureaucracy, bureaucrats thinking that they're running the world correctly, when in fact, everybody would be very happy to have good paying jobs and not have to, ask the government for some money and actually have a career. Never has work been easier than in the late 20th century and the 21st century. With the internet and the robots. I mean, the days of in the 1950s and 60s, when I was a kid, and 70s and 80s, you really worked for a living. In other words, you came home, you were exhausted. Physically exhausted. It didn't matter what it was. And now, in this era, half the time you don't even have to go to work physically. You can do it from home. Unless you're doing some type of, manufacturing or, construction or something like that. But it really, really, really makes it, easy to be involved and working. So I guess, these are the bureaucrats just slowing things down. I guess that's how it's really working in the end. All right, traders, this was the early morning. We'll come up with a title. And we try to do this every couple of weeks. We try to do an earlier one to just, basically set the opportunity for, others to jump in. But nothing today. I guess it's a Monday morning. It makes it even tougher. So, happy trails. Tomorrow we'll be back to normal. Same time, same channel as Friday. Another 3 hours later. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders. Later.